How to find your G-spot, and C-spot, and A-spot. I'm late for coffee with a sexologist, where we'll talk about the G-spot, the C-spot, and the A-spot, all in the name of female pleasure. When I meet sexologist and relationship expert Jess O'Reilly, Ph.D., and we start talking loudly about all things vaginal, the large group of men sitting behind us are clearly horrified. $10 says it's because they've never even heard of an A-spot, let alone found someone's G-spot. Also, a lot of digital ink has been used to talk about the elusive G-spot, but I didn't know what an A-spot, or a C-spot, for that matter, was before I sat down to learn about the female body in depth. So many women feel bad about self-pleasure, let alone pleasure during sex, and don't think it's important or okay to get to know their bodies. I got my first vibrator when I was 22. To try it out, I put on a lacy black bra, lit some candles, and played slow music. I mostly just felt weird being by myself under the covers. Before O'Reilly and I got into the details of the G-, C-, and A-spots, we talked about the basics. First, let yourself be happy in ways that aren't sexual, she says. When you get into a hot shower, how often do you sigh? When you take your first sip of wine or bite of chocolate, do you make a sound in the back of your throat? How are women supposed to respond to and engage with sexual pleasure when we can't do the same with non-sexual sensation? Before anyone gets naked, they can start to take charge of their pleasure. The most important thing is to figure out where on your body you feel pleasure, says Leah Milheiser, M.D., a board-certified OBGYN at Stanford University and an expert in female sexual medicine and menopause health. Placing a lot of importance on spots can be very stressful. Women try to find them, and when they can't, they think something is wrong with them. No matter how much you know about the anatomy of your pleasure, don't feel like you have to focus too much on any one hot spot. I'll admit that I've had more than one conversation where a friend's mouth dropped when I told them I'd never had a G-spot orgasm. Girl, shut your mouth. Everyone has a different orgasm. If you want to, you can check out those places. If you don't, that's fine too. It's your body and your pleasure. The good spot. The mythical G-spot, which is often described as the holy grail of orgasm, has never made sense to me. I asked O'Reilly to set things straight. Where is the G-spot? Sexual researchers aren't sure if the G-spot even exists, at least in the sense of a physical spot somewhere in your body. In 2017, researchers found no evidence of a macroscopic anatomic structure in a study that was published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine. Instead, the G-spot is thought to be part of the larger clitoral complex, more on that later, which is a network of pleasure hotspots. Where to look for the G-spot? If you wanted to stimulate the G-spot, you'd reach into your vagina, but not very far, and curl your fingers up toward the wall of your stomach. Think of the way you say "come here." If you do this when you're excited, the area feels rougher than the rest of the vaginal canal, says O'Reilly. She suggests using a vibrator like the Nova that has two types of stimulation to find the G-spot. Best G-spot sex positions. Straddle your partner's penis, or a sex toy, and lean back to get to that hard-to-reach spot. Think of a cowgirl, but turn her 45 degrees. Different kinds of doggy style, which means penetrating from behind with the penis or a sex toy, are also great for stimulating the G-spot. The spot in the middle. C-spot might sound strange, but it's just a different name for your clitoris. Where is the C-spot? Your clitoris is a whole area that looks like a wishbone and runs down each side of your vaginal opening. The little bump at the top of your clitoral complex that feels like a bean is called the C-spot. Its only purpose is to make you feel good and get you to orgasm, says O'Reilly. The C-spot is usually the most sensitive part of your clitoris, but it's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to having a clitoral orgasm. Where to look for the C-spot? There are many ways to stimulate your C-spot, including the tried and true hand method. Use the tip of your finger to roll around that area for direct stimulation, says O'Reilly, and, of course, toys. Melt by Revibe uses something called pleasure air technology to send stronger and stronger pulses around the clitoris. O'Reilly says that a small bullet vibe with a flat tip is also a good choice. Best C-spot sex positions. The best positions for the C-spot are ones where you can reach the area with your hands. In other words, choose sex positions that let you or your partner stimulate your C-spot with your hands or a sex toy. Try missionary, slide your hand down to please yourself. Cowgirl, let your partner stimulate your clit while you control the depth and speed of penetration. Or spooning, one or both of you can stimulate your clit. The top place. Are you with me? Good. Let's talk A-spot. Where is the sweet spot? All three spots have had little research done on them, but the A-spot, also called your anterior fornix erogenous zone, has had the least. The A-spot is higher in your vaginal canal than the G-spot and is closer to your cervix. How to get to the sweet spot? A lot of people find it uncomfortable to have their A-spot stimulated, just like a lot of us find it uncomfortable to have our cervix hit. Like a cervical orgasm, this spot needs deep penetration to be hit. Find your G-spot first, then move about 2 inches up and deeper into the vagina. If your fingers aren't long enough, you might need to use a sex toy. Best A-spot sex positions. Positions that allow for super deep penetration are the best for hitting the A-spot, just like the G-spot. Try standing with your hands on the wall, the bed, or a table for support while your partner slowly enters you from behind with a penis, a sex toy, or a strap-on.